What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade. Today is Monday, April 4th, and the reason I start with that is because 2 years ago today, I posted my first Division 2 video, and I could never have imagined the channel turning into what it did, and it's all because of you, my Division family. As I've said numerous times before, my main goal in even creating a channel was to create a space where people could come together, work with each other, help each other out, a toxic-free gaming environment, and we've done just that at the channel. So again, thank you all so much, and we are just getting started. With that being said, my friends, let's get into some of the news that's going on right now. I want to get into some of your feedback, answer some of the questions as well. Now, for me in my own personal gameplay, it's really been hit or miss, and more miss than hit. And the only reason I say that is because I've had the most difficult time actually getting into this new game mode. Now, I've shown a few different clips here and there, and that's when I've been lucky to use matchmaking, and it's been working. However, I would say that 90% of the time it does not work for me. I'll join a group, and then I'll have a Delta error show up, and then I'll join a group another time, another Delta error. Try a third time, and then I'll wind up being put into a raid, and then I'm in a raid group, and then I get Delta'd out. So that's something that definitely needs to be fixed, as the main point is, to play the PTS while it's going on. Now, the good news is that the game is well aware that this is taking place, as well as many other issues that are going on in the PTS. And it's important to mention, yes, it is a PTS. We can't expect these problems, but these are certain things that need to be resolved as quickly as possible so we can actually get in and test these things out. So what you're looking at here is a list of some of the known issues that are happening in the PTS at this moment. Now, as always, I don't want to read them all to you word for word. That will take way too much time. So I will leave a link to these notes in the description down below, and I strongly suggest you check them out. And especially for those of you that are actually playing the PTS, please take that time, go to the forum, give them your notes, let them know what's going on, because we are literally the only ones in this game. It's only on PC, so we're the only ones who can actually relay that feedback. So please take that time if you're having issues and let them know what's up. Now, my early take on the game is this. I'm really enjoying the game mode itself. I truly wish I could have played it more. And, I think we have a few more days until they actually stop this, do a few fixes, and move on to phase 2. But with that being said, I sincerely hope that they somehow implement a single-person version of this into the game. I've heard from so many of you out there, and this is something I do relay along to the powers that be, that a lot of people are solo players. They really weren't looking for an 8-player thing, so hopefully you can somehow accommodate them. Now, there happen to be two important factors that I want to pass along. First of all, I have seen players clear this mode on their own, so it can definitely be done. And secondly, I have been hearing the term raid thrown around so much with this game mode. And yes, there are 8 players, but in my opinion, that's kind of where the comparison stops. Because first of all, you do not need to have a team of dedicated players grouping up, having headsets, all that stuff to actually get through this thing. I showed footage from a while back where on my first attempt doing this, I used matchmaking, 7 random people, no communication whatsoever, and we easily got through the thing. Another thing to keep in mind is the time in which it takes to actually clear this thing. Remember, it's a 15-minute game mode. It's meant to, it's designed for you to get in, get out, get a bunch of loot. So in my mind, this is more like a very aggressive, underground run than anything even close to a raid. Moving on, I'd like to talk about enemy scaling, as I'm sure you've heard from a lot of people saying it's way too easy, we can rip through it. Well, again, this is on normal mode, and I'm going to make the assumption, and I hope I'm right, that there are going to be different, levels of difficulty, just like they have in the Summit and other places where you can choose your actual difficulty and go from there. Now, as soon as I have any tangible information, actual numbers from the game on how the enemy scaling is going to work, I will definitely pass it along. Right now, it's a bunch of guessing. There's some info we have, some info we don't, but as soon as we have actual information, I will let you know what's up. Next, my friends, I'd like to talk about the weapons and gear, and one thing I want to mention as we move on to that subject is the fact that now in this new game mode, you can get raid exclusive gear that was not available in the open world. You can get it here, as you can see on the screen. While playing Countdown, I was able to get the Foundry backpack, and you can also get the Foundry chest. Now, I did not pick that up as yet because, like I said, I've been barely able to get into the game mode. However, I've already talked to a lot of people that have picked that up, and for so many of you out there, that's going to change how you run in the game. That chest and bag are absolute monsters, so it's going to make a big difference to your tank builds. And on that note, I know that many of you are probably wondering, are they going to finally do that with the raid weapons? Can we finally get the Eagle Bearer in the open world or anything else that you've been looking for? And in my opinion, I do not think that's going to happen unless they can replace those exotics with other ones, because otherwise that would completely kill the raid. Finally, my friends, I want to talk about the new weapons and gear and exotics we are going to be getting with this next update. Now, the only reason I haven't done a showcase, to be honest with you, is because we haven't been given them in the game as yet. However, as soon as we get those, I will pass them along, give you a breakdown, and there should be some pretty good stuff we're looking at. Now, for those of you that may not know, when you participate in the PTS, you're given access to all the weapons, all the gear sets, all the new named pieces, all the exotics, all of that stuff. And what happens is you go to the White House vendor, they have caches for sale, and in those caches, they have everything in the game. And one thing I want to make sure I mention as we move on is none of the progression, none of the gear, and none of the, the expertise system, none of that progress we have made actually goes to our characters. These characters are completely standalone. They are just for the PTS server, so it's not like we're getting any head start whatsoever. And as I start to wrap this video up, my assumption is that Phase 1 will continue for another 2 or 3 days, then they're going to shut it down, do fixes, all of that good stuff, and then we'll begin Phase 2. And once everyone gets their hands on the weapons and gear, that's when I will actually show you the weapons and gear. We'll also see what they actually look like. Keep in mind, they've been putting a lot of placeholders in the game now until they actually release these things, so when they do, I can do a whole showcase and everything, and my friends, there is a lot to look forward to. One final thing I want to address before I finish the video up is many of you have been asking me, is this it? Like, is this all we can expect with the, this big update we've been waiting for forever and ever and ever? Now, keep in mind, this is the new game mode. They've also talked about new content being released as well, so hopefully there's going to be something for everyone. On that note, do me a favor, let me know what you think of the game mode so far. If you've played it or not, what you've seen, if it's something you may be interested in, or if you're like me, you just want to give it time, see what happens when it launches and go from there. Because in my opinion, that's the best way to truly determine if this is something for you or not. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support of this channel, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor and hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
Whatever the hell that thing is called. You'll need to run the sequence twice.
High risk hostile. 10 minutes to lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
Lockdown safety protocols in effect. Proceed to nearest objective.
Great work, Agent. Now you just need to restart the reactor and keep any hostiles from knocking it offline or killing you. No pressure.